Well, it's been a while since I filmed anything, so I might as well show you guys a hidden gem and that I had. These and these two books over here are my two drawing books. Books that I drew trains in when I was at school. Because, yeah, I was bored, and as you guys know, school sucks. So, yeah. Yeah, I doodled these in school, and they're all train pictures. Some of them are... And some of these have really deep lore, so you best prepare yourselves. Starting with this red book over here. I haven't given these a name yet. However, these are all pictures of trains that I drew, so we're just going to call them Pictures of Trains that I've drew, volumes 1 and 2. So this is volume 1. And as we open this book, I don't know if you can see that, but this is supposed to be a West Fire Island Railroad diesel locomotive. The West Fire Island Railroad is my little fictional railroad that I made up in my head. It's similar to the Long Island Railroad in many different ways. It is electrified. It started out in 1870, and one of its first locomotives was and most of its first actual locomotives were a couple of planet-type locomotives, along with a couple of 242 Columbians. 242 Columbian types, some consolidations and a few porters. And however, here's one of its more modern locomotives. A diesel as seen here in storage in the year 2001. One near an oil bed as seen right here. Now, this is 1955 on the Blue Valley in Northwestern. Again, another fictional railroad in Pennsylvania. And this is number 5, a Class SA-16 consolidation built in 1895, named Paimon after Paimon from Genshin Impact. And also, I'm gonna get screamed at in the comments for naming a perfectly good steam locomotive after some cringy emergency food floating lolly, aren't I? Oh yeah, this locomotive is West Fire Island Railroad Mikado number 1210, built by Baldwin in 1911. This locomotive has since been scrapped, as it was scrapped in 1961. One afterwards was drawn in 1958. Here's Paimon again off of West Fire Island on F7 without a B unit. Unit 7280. 80 as seen here. Here, Paimon up above, heading in the opposite direction. This is W&L Chemicals. It was formed in 1849 as seen here. In Bloomington, Illinois. Here's number 27. This is one of the last. This would be the last year that W&L Chemicals would operate, as it owned a little switching and short line railroad. And that was the W&L Railroad, which the W&L stood for the Weston and Leslie Company. Yeah, and here's all of its equipment. A 242 Prairie built by Alco in 1899. Died with a slopeback tender number 27. And here's some of its decommissioned equipment. This one over here is a Whitcomb 50-ton center cab built in built in 1946. This actually has Climax trucks on it. So this thing actually has trucks from a Climax logging geared steam locomotive on it, and it was number 36. And behind it is a fireless locomotive built by H.K. Porter in 1947. 37 off on the roads, maintenance of white cars. This is Woodville. Another flag stop for more foreign power runs on the Blue Valley Northwestern, with Paimon going east, Westfire Island, or Island Malay, number 2 heading west. Paimon again, this time on the Nutwish and Northeastern Railroad in Nutwish, Virginia. Yeah, so again, foreign power. More foreign. This is Long Island Western 1620, a 2882 built by Baldwin in 1915. This locomotive was in service up until 1956. So, yeah, this locomotive was time. So the writing was on the wall for 1620 over here. 1620 was scrapped in 1958, so it doesn't exist anymore. Sorry, steam fans. This is the Blue Valley Northwestern again, but this time with 462 Pacific number 621. One built by Alco in 1916. 1916 and converted to oil firing in 1927. Near the Worcester Sulphur Company. Now this is Long Island Western 4500, a 884 electric locomotive built by Alco and built by Baldwin and General Electric in 1945, I believe. Details on this locomotive are slim to none. Other than that, 4500 was then later sold to a mining company in Little Rock, Arkansas, before being scrapped in 1976 around the beginning of the Conrail era. Here it is near White Point's end, a little station. Now, these are really neat. The Wasson Cog Railway, these are all based off of the Mount Washington Cog Railway. Number 4, as seen here, it was built in-house all the way back in 1894. Ran up until 1947, so it would be retired 2 years after this was filmed. And then unfortunately, this on its last run, it fell down, then lost control, fell down the mountainside. Courts say that it exploded, and fortunately, all 21 passengers were then unfortunately killed as it had a coach, which then closed the Wasson Cog Railway for good. The Wasson Cog Railway no longer exists, just as it was abandoned. However, most of the line from the base of the mountain that climbed was ripped up. It was then ripped up and scrapped, along with most of its equipment. The only surviving remnants are the pump house, the station at the summit, the miles of right-of-way that went up through, there was a, that went up through, and then, and then I went up to the summit, and the tracks at the summit are still there. The points don't work though, which is a shame. So yeah, unfortunately, that's a travesty. That happened. However, when it comes to the equipment, a few freight cars still exist at the base of the railway. Base of the railway, along with a couple of decommissioned passenger cars, and 2 engines still exist. Those being number 3, which is abandoned at the shops at the base of the railroad, and number 7 was donated to the Lancaster chapter of the NRHS, sat at the Rail Museum of Pennsylvania until 1977. The time that the accident occurred was the whole cog thing was in 1968. However, today it now currently resides in rural Pennsylvania, in northern rural Pennsylvania near the Alleghenies, and is privately owned and is undergoing restoration to operational condition. However, it won't be climbing mountains anymore. So that means which means that the cogs is going to be taken out from this area over here, as that drives the cog. Okay, and it's probably going to be repurposed as a generator or a gypsy winch. Nobody knows. Here is Cotton Belt and Reading number 10 of a 2662, built by Baldwin in 1927. They converted to oil firing in 1931. So this was when the locomotive was new. And this is when the locomotive was new. New as it was 6 months old at the time when this was taken. And here is Sacramento Western and Barstow number 746 of 4442 Atlantic Mallet, built by Alco in 1913. Converted to oil firing in 1925. And now resides. It was retired in 1947. So it now resides on display at the West River Railroad Museum, and however is getting cosmetically restored, as it's been sitting outside in the elements took a toll on it. Right next to Virginia Eel 3A number 100.